My name is David Onwukwe, and I'm a Principal Solutions Engineer with BlueRock Security. Today, I'm going to talk about Microsoft's Markitdown MCP server and talk about an SSRF exploit that we found within the MCP server. So right here is our BlueRock MCP Trust Registry. We can scan different MCP servers, give an analysis based on what we found within that scan. And I'm going to click on Microsoft's Markitdown here. And part of that analysis kind of goes over remediation steps that we find, things that we might deem as vulnerable. So we do a risk assessment, and you can see from the top page here, we list out the convert to Markitdown tool performs unrestricted network fetches via user-supplied URIs, essentially enabling you to potentially have an SSRF attack. So as you use the MCP server, and kind of the base of the MCP server is to convert files and documents to Markitdown, so you can use this with Markitdown itself, but in this case you can use it with Markitdown's MCP capabilities, but it doesn't necessarily validate the IP address. So if I come down a little bit here, it actually explains a little bit more detail the cloud metadata points that you could hit. So the cloud metadata IP address is this one address here, the 169 address. This allows you to interface with your EC2 instance, or like if you're Amazon or any other type of instance, depending on which cloud you're in, to ask it different questions to get back different data. And part of the data that you could receive back is the ability to receive credentials from the cloud metadata. So we're going to kind of highlight that here. And then if you want more information, we also have this listed within our blog post here that goes a little more detail, kind of how this works. So I'm going to pull up my terminal here and start my Gemini client just to show you. And this terminal is running on a BlueRock enabled instance, so BlueRock is running within this instance. Let's give Gemini a second to start up. And it's going to look to see what MCP servers are available. I'm looking specifically for Markitdown. Just give that a second to start. And there it is. I'll select convert to Markdown. And when you enter in the specific tool, it'll then ask for an IP address. And I'm just going to give it the metadata URI. And actually, no, one of the directories I believe is latest to start. So it has a metadata, user data, dynamic, and I can keep kind of going down this path here. So let's say give me the metadata. And then it breaks into additional. I'll just keep bringing this back up. I'll say IAM. And then security credentials. This gives me the IAM role associated with this instance. So the instance has an IAM role associated. If I were to append this to the end of this string, this would then give me the basically the security credentials for this. So I'm not going to put it on this screen, but just show you an example from the blog post. This is what it looks like. So it gives you the access key, the secret key, and token. So you can actually take this and run this anywhere. So you can say, all right, I now have access to the instance. You'll then assume whatever permissions that instance has within that role to have access to the Amazon account. So this kind of gives you kind of full access depending on what access that role has. And BlueRock is actually able to block this. So right now I have this in kind of a monitor mode. I'm going to exit my Gemini client, and I'm going to change this to Remediate mode. So I'll change Remediate to true. So this will look to basically stop this URI from being used. Let's start the Gemini client again. have Markitdown just a second to start. Should be ready now. And let's try this again. Same URI. And we'll go with the latest. Let's see. We'll execute. And you can see here it's hanging. So this is actually BlueRock intercepting this this attempt. So I put into remediate mode. It's actually stopping this from going forward. Eventually this will actually time out as well too. This kind of just shows how we can take a look at these types of attempts. So if we see something against your instance metadata, we actually can intercept that with at the MCP level for you. Thanks for your time.